Earlier today was another episode of RedStreams. CDPR and a member of Virtuous Games came together to show off some of the major features coming in patch 2.3, which we also found out is dropping tomorrow for all platforms except the Switch 2, which is going to get the update a bit later. And if you want a comprehensive breakdown of patch 2.3, get subscribed. I'll have that video up tomorrow as well. And the stream overall did have some interesting implications on the future of Cyberpunk 2077. Some fans are definitely disappointed, but I also think some people are just missing some of these new features and how cool they might be. And just overall, this is a continuation. 2.3 is yet another surprise update made in collaboration with Virtuous Games while overseen by Paul Sasko. During the stream, they described how CDPR is largely happy with where Cyberpunk 2077 is right now, but is interested in adding in things that just make the game a bit more enjoyable to play. The biggest feature in the new update is new vehicles, as well as some of the new jobs you'll have to do to get those vehicles. 3 new cars and 1 new motorcycle are being added, and each of these has a unique twist to make it stand out a bit. A new armored version of the Rayfield Caliburn is being added, this marking the very first armored sports car that you can get in Cyberpunk 2077. We only had a few looks at this one, but it looks phenomenal. Easily one of the best looking cars in game, and it's not even in game yet. And I just personally think for a lot of us watching right now, this is going to be our main vehicle after this update releases. We're also getting the Yaiba Semi-Maru. This is going to be the first car from Yaiba in Night City. Right now, they only have bikes available in game. This one looks phenomenal and will likely be another top tier speed option in Night City. And CDPR even did something fun with this one. It was secretly teased ahead of release. On the final page of the Kickdown comic, there was a render of this Yaiba, but it seems like almost everyone missed this. I couldn't find any reports online talking about this one. And this car was one of the pieces of cut content from Phantom Liberty, so it's cool to see some of that content finally being added in now. The Yaiba Muramasa is also coming to the game with patch 2.3, this being the first customizable motorcycle in Night City. This one looks cool, and it will likely occupy another top tier bike slot like some of the other Yaiba options. But the vehicle to take my attention the most was the civilian Aquila, the very first weaponized truck in Night City. This one comes with a custom paint job. It seems like it might be Nomad related, and based off the size of the bed of this truck, I have a feeling this might feature some of Night City's most devastating vehicle weapons. During the Red Stream, we really just gotta look at these new vehicles. But one aspect of this that I think a lot of fans are missing is 3 of these vehicles also include new side jobs to unlock them. The truck you're just going to buy, that one doesn't have anything else going on with it, but for the other 3, you have specific requirements, sometimes completed quest, sometimes just purchasing other vehicles, and then seemingly a new side job will unlock that gives you a chance to get this new vehicle for yourself. And at least in the case of the Muramasa, it even says you can fail the job and then we'll have to buy the bike instead. We got zero indication of how big or small these jobs are going to end up being. It could literally just be go here and get the vehicle. But for those upset about the content size, some new things to do, at least somewhat, are coming. Beyond that, every vehicle in the game is getting 1 new feature with AutoDrive. So now every single car that you get in Night City will be able to automatically drive to your quest markers, that location of the next mission, or just any random waypoint you put in Night City, driving you wherever you want, or even just driving around Night City aimlessly in a new exploration mode. After the update launches, this feature will just be enabled automatically on all of your cars. CDPR basically describes how, in game terms, it's like a software update to all of the cars. And it does have some interesting features. You can literally see V throw his elbow onto the window, which I think is pretty funny. I think a lot of us have probably driven like this. While you're in an auto drive, you can see your distance and time remaining on that drive. It'll also unlock a new cinematic camera mode to give you different views of the car while you're driving. This heavily reminding me of the Grand Theft Auto camera. And yeah, this is a real drive. It's not like you're going to have a time skip section here. Your automated car will follow traffic rules to a degree and even stop at stoplights. CDPR during the stream describes how they made sure it doesn't feel obnoxiously slow, so people will actually use this feature. But yeah, the car's probably going to drive a bit more properly than you typically did. And you can even get a cab. After finishing all of the Delamain side quests, you unlock an auto-driving Delamain Cab for yourself. You'll just call this one in like a typical car, and for a small fee, they'll automatically drive you to wherever you choose. This isn't functionally too different from the other cars. It's not like the Delamain Cab will skip time. But honestly, I just find the Delamain Cab as a really cool immersive feature. I remember right on my first playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077 being quite disappointed I didn't unlock a cab like this for myself after completing that Delamain mission. And Johnny could even spawn in the backseat of the cab with you, but for those of you that do hate this new Johnny spawning and riding with you feature, the patch notes do mention there is another new feature where you can tell him to go away and he won't spawn in your cars for a few days. Just a pretty cool note, CDPR even mentioned how this AutoDrive feature was actually inspired by these long YouTube videos of people just driving around Night City. Those get tons of views, so they were like, hey, why don't we just kind of add it as a feature in game? And honestly, what I think is going to be the most slept on out of the new features, CDPR also revealed that 32 new vehicles will be able to use Crystal Coat and Twin Tone, that being the paint job mechanic as well as the ability to grab paint jobs from other cars. The big part about this being 205 generic paint jobs and 168 unique paint jobs are added into Twin Tone. This means that as you're just driving around Night City now, there are 373 new car paint jobs that can pop up. And while obviously I can't play the update yet to test this for myself, those numbers certainly make it sound like the variety of vehicle paint in Night City is about to transform forever. I think now, after this update, as you're just driving around, you're going to see a lot more variety in the vehicles around you, which I personally love. Of course, a bunch of these paint jobs look really cool and you could grab them for your own cars, but to me, the most important feature is making the world a bit more dynamic visually. When it comes to additional cars getting Crystal Coat, that being the ability to change the car's paint job, CDPR actually cares about immersion with this one, so not all cars are getting this feature. Like that new truck isn't getting this, as CDPR says it doesn't make sense for it lore-wise. But yeah, we don't actually know what that lore is yet. The other 3 cars will have the ability to change their paint jobs though, and basically since Crystal Coat is technically a ray field feature and CDPR didn't want lower end cars having it, they instead use a hacked version for immersion. But just to be clear here, if you're hearing about vehicle customization in Night City, all of this is just cosmetic. There are new cars with new performance, but beyond that you can't modify their performance. You could just modify some of the paint jobs that appear on them, as well as there's some custom and unique paint jobs in the world. Photo mode is getting some big upgrades with patch 2.3. They already overhauled this with patch 2.2, but in 2.3 we're getting an expansion on some of those existing systems, as well as a bunch of new features even beyond that are getting added. And even though I know a lot of you aren't super into photo mode, some of these changes are genuinely pretty handy. Like now, a bunch of new things can be edited in-game as you're taking a picture. You can change the time of day and even the weather. You can move time ahead slightly so the objects in the world will keep moving. This lets you get that perfect action shot, and honestly just seems like a massive upgrade for in-game photographers. A ton of new NPCs are added as placeable, including some fun ones like Brendan the vending machine, as well as the twins from Phantom Liberty. There's going to be some new poses that you're able to use here, as well as you can now apply a character's alternative outfits to them, those being the other outfits NPCs would use during certain missions in Night City, and even V can now swap between their saved outfits in photo mode as well, as well as a bunch more. Numerous stickers and frames were added. The lighting system got an upgrade. It's much easier to brighten your scenes now. One of the really cool ones that I think a lot of people are going to use, you can now direct a pose different than a character's eyes, so you can have them posing a certain way, but their head and eyes looking a different way. I of course know a bunch of you don't use photo mode, but honestly at this point, Cyberpunk 2077 has one of the most impressive digital photography communities in gaming. So stuff like this is just really cool. It allows a lot of additional content to be created around this game, and for that reason, I'm pretty happy about it. Even though, yeah, I don't plan on spending much time in photo mode myself. But another one of the features that I think a lot of people are sleeping on are some of the technical improvements coming to Cyberpunk 2077 from this update. The big one for PC players is FSR 3.1 frame generation is coming. CDPR describes how they worked with AMD to get this implemented, and even FSR 4 is coming, but in a later update. Back in 2024, FSR 3 was added into Cyberpunk 2077 for the first time. FSR is a big deal because anyone could use it regardless of graphics card, but that older implementation was just bad. It massively helped performance, but also had very obvious visual issues. And the odd part was, even when FSR 3 was added to Cyberpunk, FSR 3.1 was already out. So even on day one, we got an outdated version of this upscaler that just didn't look that good. But modders almost immediately added in FSR 3.1, and this is a huge improvement. It not only means slightly more FPS, but also vastly improved visuals. You can see here in some of these comparison shots, you're getting basically the same or even better performance, but the game just looks way better, particularly around foliage graphics. So considering a ton of you are already using FSR 3.0 in Cyberpunk 2077, with this update you'll just switch to 3.1 and it'll be a really nice visual upgrade for your game. Beyond that, CDPR also worked with Intel to add XeSS 2.0 as well as frame generation, and even HDR10 Plus gaming is coming. And those console users weren't forgotten about. VRR is also coming to consoles tomorrow, and all of that's a pretty big deal. For pretty much everyone outside of NVIDIA 4000 GPU or newer owners, tomorrow's update should have at least a slight visual improvement for Cyberpunk 2077. Won't be game-changing, but it'll be nice, particularly for those of you on FSR 3.0, as well as also the Mac release is coming tomorrow. This game on Mac is going to support ray tracing tracing, frame generation, spatial audio with AirPods, and even HDR for Apple XDR displays. They collaborated with Apple for this one as well, and it seems like a lot of the extra nice-to-have features are added here, which should be really awesome for all 4 of you that end up playing this tomorrow. The stream was where we got to see many of the new features, but CDPR also released the full patch 2.3 patch notes. And a few other nice-to-haves are coming here, like how players can now drop more cyberware capacity shards if some within the intended drop limit were previously missed. So if you've been having issues with cyberware capacity, tomorrow's update should hopefully make it so more of those shards are available to you. Otherwise, that's it. CDPR said we got the full patch note. So what I showed you in this video is every major feature coming with this update. Of course, there are further bug fixes and things like that, but that's all the big stuff. I wouldn't expect any big surprise features for tomorrow. I think that's just setting yourself up for a disappointment. But maybe we are getting more surprises down the line. Personally, I'm pretty happy with patch 2.3. It's a free update that we weren't even expecting. But I also wouldn't be shocked if this isn't the end of Cyberpunk 2077 updates. Of course, last month we saw that DLC entry on LinkedIn. Virtuous did make this update, but it also might be working on a new Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. Those new jobs we get tomorrow to unlock some of the new cars could be considered a DLC. In the past, some of this new car content was a DLC. CDPR treats expansions as big paid content. DLC are more like just new game features that are often included with a free update. And as right now, we just really don't know. Maybe these new jobs are what this DLC was. But at the same time, CDPR at no point during the stream or even in these patch notes mentions a DLC. So if you're crossing your fingers that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a DLC down the line, that's definitely not ruled out right now. I just want to be realistic that, yeah, these new jobs totally could be considered a DLC by CDPR. Mod tools were never mentioned during the stream or in the patch notes. I just have to imagine those are coming at some point. And while this is pure speculation by me, all of these additional partnerships just make me think more is coming. Like, even just for this update, CDPR partnered with Apple, Intel, AMD, as well as hired Virtuous. That's a lot of collaboration for a game that was otherwise looking to be dead after this update in 2025.